Hello, Hank Hawkeye fans. Uh, this video is going to be titled something about cattle in space. No, plants in space and cattle on the ground. Plants for space farming, cattle for land farming, or something like that. Or maybe something more about, well, what it's about. It is amazing how far you can get using the multiplayer features, cooperating with other players in this game. And I've got about 37 hours on the current playthrough. Been playing this game on and off since May of this year. So, I named it Carbon and Cattle. But let me show you what I got going on here. Playing on normal. Anyway, here's what I've got. Well, first is my freighter here. I don't think I want to start there. I'm going to start on my, where I have my big things. And then we will come back to it. This was this ship here. It's a partnership to my freighter called Frigate. Anyway, I've mostly done every mission I've sent it on by itself. I recently picked up a combat frigate. This is an industrial frigate. There's like 5 kinds of frigates. The fleet will eventually be one of each. But right now it's on its last solo mission. So most likely the rest of the next will be going with the other ship, but I'm going forward. But anyway, I'm just going to go with the Recall frigate. We'll deal with that later. Yeah. Back to what I was doing. But this is probably my 3rd ship. It was the starter ship, then I built myself a Corvette, then I got this ship. There's the frigate right there. This is an S-class ship with some sweet stats. I can pull them up. I can't actually. They should have to be on the ground, so. But I'd be getting ahead of myself. I'm trying to start. There's my damaged ship. And we'll get to that soon. Or maybe we won't. I'm not sure if it's going to be a 10-minute video or an hour. What I want to show you is that this is the only game I've ever played on. I have a computer network time. Why would I be able to play this game? Everybody's got their recreational / real life differences. So, let me show you what I got going on. Take you down to the cattle ranch. It's in system here, it's just easier to warp down. Cattle, not cat. Very not too original with the name here, but it definitely saves the purpose. Okay, first off, I didn't discover this planet. What I did is I got myself up to do the first Artemis mission, run into the anomaly. Then I just started to go to the anomaly, pick up, go to his teleport, and just pick bases to go to that were listed. See what kind of trouble I can get into there. Or construction. So, His base doesn't come up when I come to his planet anymore. Maybe he moved his base and he did away with it. But there was one player who had a base here. It's a paradise world. There are very few stores. But the cool part is, there's my ship. Here it is, Class S, got maneuverability up the yin yang, which means it's very good in combat against also pirates. Went with the name All Saints, which fits it into, if you're the religious sort, you don't just celebrate Halloween, All Saints and All Souls Days. If you're a Christian, that is, or if you're Catholic, or something like that. Anyway, so I think that should be October 31st, November 1st. Anyway, so that's, but in addition to, here's why I like this one. Few stores, few sectors, but look here. There's animals that cross this part of the base, which birds I use to trade items. Which means, let me pull it up now. Which you'll see my ship. Shortly after going to the anomaly, I made sure I got the economy scan. That can let you buy this trade out. So there we've got some animals. They're going to this thing here, which you see up close to Peter, and then they're going to go in front of them and get milked. That's what's going on there. Downside, I have found like an energy hotspot to get geothermal energy from under the planet. The upside is I use solar panels. YNOs. And don't require carbon. Which, by the way, when I've been making these people's bases, if I get anything working off the carbon generators, I've been giving you carbon. If I'm going to come and use your base, I'll give you some. No. So, that's what's going on there. Here, these fabricators you can get in the decoration section. Construction here they have. You get those depending on where you're at. This protects the carbon. Sometimes it'll produce antimatter warp housings, oftentimes navigation maps, sometimes antimatter. So, very useful. Set up my teleport. That's what I got here. Got myself a landing pad, obviously. That's why my ship landed neatly on the landing pad with everything working in. Not flying. I like this person ship. I bet you the class. Yeah, fighter class C. With full name. Better look. But anyway, so that's what's going on. Here's something else I know. When I took the, which I may never finish because I got to set up a farm doing the farming again. When I took the start of the expanding or midsection of the expanding your base mission, I got a chance to hire a farmer. I hired the farmer. He got me into all kinds of crops. Let me show you that. Oh, here's your geothermal generator, electromagnetic generator. Didn't find a place for that on this one. Biofuel reactor. That's what I was looking for, the carbon generator. Anyway. Got myself a few more rooms and doors for in case I ever want to put this base came with doors to trade out from, and I ever want ladders. If I ever want ladders on my base, I could probably get them sooner or later. Buildings I built. Have tried them, but it didn't work out. Not everything works out. Oh, you use tip here. You use solar energy. Yes, it's renewable. Yes, you don't have to refuel it like a biofuel reactor. Downside is at sunrise and twilight, instead of producing 50K, it produces 25. That's part of these batteries to store energy. But I've got everything powered on 3 solar panels, which is the base terminal and see a little building down here? I've got all kinds of goodies in there. That's all my batteries. And, oh, you probably saw the device, the yellow device that hides your wires. What's the utility? Anyway, that's why you're not seeing the wires. But in here I got my bike boot box, which if I wasn't recording video would be playing music. Got me a fish tank for decoration. It's a fish tank where it robotically takes care of itself and the fishies, but it's got live fishes in it. Very cool. Wanted to walk toward it, so I got this extra space here. This battery, this battery powers the bike box. This battery powers the other port. Well, doors powered for what's power. My cattle farming equipment here. So we will go up here. We'll check out the feeder. The feeder's still got plenty of food. We'll check on the livestock feeder where they go to get milked. And we have milk. I've sold the milk every time it gets over 100. I've used the milk when I've worn out my life support, which is going down as we speak. Oh, and here's the one crop I've had. Paradise World. The crop native to it would be a star bulb. I got a little star bulb there. Many crops give you materials you can use to build things or whatever. Like, they non-sci-fi civilizations that make clothes out of crops or news and stuff. A couple of crops actually give you honey. Drops are this shit. On my crater. So, not a bad gift. Something I didn't discover. Now, let me move into something else we're about to get to. That part of it. So, I was able to get I was able to get my Corvette early and my freighter early because I went to the Anomaly to do my thing. The gentleman who spoke Spanish, I forgot most of my recent Spanish, but I recognized my Spanish, asked me if I wanted to join his group. I said yes, and that was one of the last common language, but he gave me a whole bunch of parts from salvaged ships. I was able to sell them for 600 mil. So obviously I mean I was supposed to sell that money. Now let's go see what I got with that money. Oh well, one of those things was ship shopping. Well, no, not right away. First might have been the Corvette, which I'll take me up to. Via my frigate. Wasn't very original. Named my frigate Kalamazoo. And then I do the rest. Everything here in the ship is kind of, you don't have to worry about the powering it or routing the power. The ship does all that automatically. That's the cool thing. Here, I forgot to take it to my Corvette. My Corvette, let's beam into it. I have used this Corvette sparingly. I find this kind of lack maneuverability in combat, so I use it for what it's good for. So don't be prepared. We're going to close the hatch here. Okay, on Corvette, you get down below the cloud cover on the planet, and then you can beam down. That's great. In other games and playthroughs, I have numerous times crashed a starship into the surface if it's dark or stormy or something. Avoids all that. Let me see what there is to do here. More condensed carbon. Okay. Not a bad thing. I've used it's called map with radar. Very similar to the Nexus. I'll only take one mission at a time. I got myself a nutrient. I can take a couple of them. Got myself, well, among other things. Yeah, for the starship here, I got myself warp hypercore. What's the difference between warp hypercore and warp cell? Warp cell, each warp cell only 25% powers your warp drive. Warp hypercore, one core fully charges your engine. So, oh, speaking of which, hold on, I'll show you. One of the things you're going to want to do, I like to do before I even use my warp engine, is get an S upgrade because it cuts your fuel usage in half. So what I did is I'd hop on the Anomaly and I'd go to what they would send me to using their warp capabilities. They'd send me to wherever the mission location was. So I was playing requisition somebody else's rental warp drive, so to speak. So I did that. That's one way I got into a whole just go to random bases and see what you can do in that thing. Here we go. Got myself my nutrient processor. With nothing else, you can put in one carbon, and get one feature pellet. Feed your animals like I have in the feeder. So got that going. Now we're going to beam back to the ship here. Oh, I bothered to put, I just decided way before I had a frigate, I wanted abilities to heal myself. So I've got hazard protection to heal the shields. And there we go. First aid to heal the health. So I've got that. Oh, I do not like the locker thing on this. Some of these lockers, they'll eventually develop you crack it open, the whole locker explodes with the goods. So I don't like frigate storage containers. Speaking of which, I decided I wasn't then hooking that up to a planet-side power grid. So of course I have that on my frigate here. And oh, cool thing about a frigate, you're kind of running your own starbase. Ships come here and you can buy goods off them, such as plants you might need when you're farming efforts or you're cooking efforts. I haven't cooked any food yet, but it's gaming. HAWKES. He's had some good ideas about things you can cook and use the nutrient processing for lately. In his latest 2025 guide. I may end up getting into that. Let me debrief my commander. How far did that ship get before it broke down? I don't think I'll do the repairs on camera, but I just want to know how far it got. Close to the mission. 2,200 some odd light years. Okay, it's probably 2,500 to 3,000 light years. Decline purchase. Scan something on a planet. Found. Relattice to Arc Crystal. Even sold it like half their regular price. That's good money. Found Living Pearl. Gotta keep those. I used a Living Pearl, one of them, to construct my fish tank there on my planet. My land base. Purchased artwork that turned out to be forgeries, didn't make any money. Something went wrong in this business activity, something with the sanction procedure, no money. Activated emerald, there we go, 148. Something about a trade delegation. Here's where the ship got injured. Hosted delegation. Damage. Hosted delegation from important trade family. During the visit, rival faction agents boarded the ship and assassinated several guests. Severe damage caused to ship internals. So they weren't, they didn't just hit the guests, they damaged the property. Oh, life happens. It wasn't a clean kill. Maybe they lacked style. Alright, now you're good to get these missions. They're for frigate. It's cargo. Oh, and the part of your ship you can modify is. You go up the green stairs here and everything's back here. Well, let me put these in the goodies from the mission in the storage container. And I always find something to use these emeralds for other than chromatic metal. Storage container. Living pearl storage container. And this thing we're going to sell soon. The exosuit. Oh, this frigate fuel is made out of tritium and dihydrogen. So you think just because you end up getting somewhere down the road here, auto charger, so you don't need to keep recharging your engine, or seldom do unless the auto charger breaks down. Think you're not going to need dihydrogen? You probably will. Speaking of which, I've got pyrite to reload this pulse engine, fast travel inside a star system. So I don't. The tritium probably can go toward back to the frigate. Okay, now when you get ready to buy a frigate, or even if you think they're going to offer it to you, like after the Phantoms Pirates, I bought this frigate. It's sort of like house hunting. You watch any of those home improvement shows, looking for a rental, looking for a house. You gotta go back and take a look. So I did just that. Here's what I noticed. Number one, it came in. Where is it? Not the Expedition. Stellar Extractor. It came with this science base, so when I was working with my overseer, all I had to do was go hire a scientist. I already had a base. Everybody you hire will work for a chance to get their hands on your gear that relates to their specialty. So it's more like a barter for hire sort of thing, but okay. Let me see, where's the other one? I want the best. Fleet command things, you always have to add that. Because it gets automatically torn down with change elevation. You may see them, but you gotta add them. There's the science, there's the locker that I added. Here we go. This came with the Galactic Trade Terminal. I moved it when it came to that. And it came with, important here, planetary probe. You can just press E and it will, let me show you. Even if you haven't been to all the planets, it not only gives you general information about the planet, it breaks it down to weather, sentinels, the whole 9 yards. So faster planetary exploration. So I got that to start with. And Until then, just friggin' come over to here. Upgrade controls. You go to upgrade control. Base parts and upgrades. And what you find here, these blueprints are specialist after the frigate fuel are specialist equipment to do like one mission thing to help out the fleet one time, equip a certain gear, or get the ability to produce those gear if you want to do that. There's a whole bunch of things. Everything in this game is optional once you get into it. Anyway, you will notice here, for instance, I've got the Stellar Extractor storage room. Oh, Galactic Trade Room. Oh, well, that came active, I guess, because I don't know getting salvage frigate modules here. But anyway, so I got those things, and that's how my base started. I added everything else. So let me show you what I did here. For those of you thinking about getting into farming plants, maybe you want to play some music by one Robert Plant, to include, but not exclusively, Led Zeppelin. So here's all my sample plants that I've planted one of. And following the farmer, the person behind this here would be Science Specialist Room, Construction Specialist Room, none of those. Agricultural Specialist Room, so this is the agricultural specialist. Here's all the plants you could just do. The only thing I've added is, you guessed it, Nip. I did that on the, I think Salvage Tech to get this blueprint. In this game, you get blueprints, and then you can start building them. So I did that. Followed the farmer here. Got one of the gut rod, one of the frost boards, solar vine, fungal cluster, gamma weed, mordite root, and Buchano cactus. Now, these crops are great, but they really don't give you a lot of money. So, I like the money. These crops are in 2 hours. Gravitino Host, which they're a thing you can also use for crafting. Gravitino Host. But Nip buds are just for cash. But yes, I got into that. I got 10 Nip buds and 9 Gravitino Host, and of course the star ball growing on the plant. So that's my little farm. Keep track of it. What I did, I of course start behind my farmer. Then I went as far as I could, extending my farm behind somebody's offices. So there's the overseer. And this could be behind, but across from the science office. And there's my Stellar Extractor. So that's what's going on here. Oh, that isn't everything. Let me show you in some detail what I do. You can do that. First off, use the network settings here, and I'm going to switch to that. Network settings. Da, 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 da. Okay, in network settings here, like I don't do player versus player. I'll verse pirates. I've shot up a few of them. Sentinels, but not other players. Anyway, there's my, if I get a player that speaks my language, we can talk with my microphone. I allow anybody to see where I'm at or my ship's at. But you can have restrictions to your base, like can't add base parts, can't delete base parts, can't edit base terrain, can't access the refiner. But they can in a base, say, access your crops. You can have a player group, and I did it once. What's her name? Listed. Her name, his name. Definitely ever see the player again, but let me go back here. View No Man's Sky, friends list. Yeah. Sweet Potato, the player that named the star Sweet Potato 21. The player that named the star system Sweet Potato. Well, I was part of her group. She let me on a freighter. I got some goods that are not running. The rest is history. Well, I'm going to go for this time. Not people's favorite, but I'm not going places. So let me go back to, let me go to the space station area. Because I haven't yet done the research to teleport on my frigate yet. As a matter of fact, frigate expansion makes it difficult to come by. So, what I did, my first one, I invested into, you notice I got a number of these with 4 plants here. Invested in the double cultivation chiller as opposed to the single. So they got the big, a large hydroponics tray or the small one, planet base. Let me check the stellar extractor. Now that I got the stellar extractor, I'm near a yellow star. This is chromatic metal for me. Can't buy it anymore. Oh, since I did this, I did a playthrough a while back, spent about 3 hours, 3 videos, and I was adding lights to add direction, this one calling this one calling that. I went a whole lot. So first off, one thing that took me a while was I had to learn how to get rid of corridors. And I had external corridors that were actually internal. Well, once I learned how to do that, got down and got funky, and did a streamlined thing here. So we've got my large refiner here. Nice thing about, I've got the refiner on my Corvette too. Nice thing about those, they'll do the refining without having to power it with carbon, like you do on your personal refiner or your personal portable refiner. Like you do on your Jason Blaze is right. These things are great, but I got the personal refiner too. But you do have to fuel it in front. But not with your large refiners for your Corvette or your frigate. Let's see there. Okay, navigation data. Fine. I probably need some maps I can use it. I'm using the navigation data to generate maps and stuff. And the salt. I want that back in the storage container. So I press X, press storage container. Ah, I've got a trade terminal. Let's see what I can get for the arc here. I think these things are just like, well, whatever they are. They're best sold to manufacturing planet, which I don't think we're in a manufacturing system, but what the heck, nobody's perfect. And I can sell off some wild milk if I'm not using it. Well, after I use some, life support's been down. So I consume 1, updates the life support by 20. That's good. Now we go next door to the trade terminal. Sorry, not next door. 2 doors over. Or this way. We're going to sell. We are selling 130. but just 30 while building. And yeah, these are going at a 25% discount, but I'll take it. It's still 78 grand. More than I got for the WoW. Oh, when I keep repairing the frigate that, like, the one that broke down, it's an industrial frigate, so it keeps giving me a reward for repairs that I help it complete. It keeps giving me magnetized ferrite, so I got quite a bit of that. Oh, one other thing too. If you've been going to a group of planets and I got like the same planets over and over, and I got most of the salvaged salvage technology, that's when it's good to go to another planet, go to someone else's base. So let me show you what I mean. It's really excellent. There is no shame in my game. Oh, and why is all this nifty? Because, well, like me and the guy who gave me the spare parts to get the 600 million, him and I would go, we went to a base of his, like, there needed to be a bridge built across the canyon, we did it together. Hey, you built part of it, I'm following up, we must agree on the same thing. So while I was briefly part of his group, I helped him out with things, toured his base. Plus, he gave me as a reward all those spare parts I got to sell for all that money. Well, let me show you some other rewards here. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Funny, I bought this frigate before I was off to the fleet. I got ahead of the story. I got it for 6-7 mil or something. I can be casual about that when I'm bank account, but yes, it can take time to earn that. I think I had 3 or 4 mil when I was given the 600, or the parts I could sell for 600. So I was trying to do that. I think I skipped out on the docking. Myself. I messed up landing. If I don't stick this landing, they're not going to call me Michael Landon. I won't get to add that to the list of names of that great country music song, David Allen Coe. There we go, suck the landing. Alright here, so, while I've been touring these bases, every time you go to a new system, I think your first time is, first time you do like the first space station in your home system, your first upgrade is free. But if you got the cash, you can go to Exosuit Upgrade and upgrade. So, I've been upgrading the Exosuit. I went from probably something in the neighborhood of 8 up here, 8 technology slots to, I think this is 16 or something. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. And then I added a whole bunch down here. So, been having fun with that. That's not where the real fun is. One time, I got into something. Either I took a mission at the Nexus, was in a system and found a base there and landed there. Or more likely, I just went to their teleport and found a base available. And I was to base and went there. So, oh, here's the first thing I did. At different planets, 2 key upgrades you gotta get. You may not find them at the space station. You need some cash. You need to go get from your multi-tool dealer. You need to get your multi-tool. You need to get your S upgrade. S-class upgrade for your GIMP. So whatever base I got that at, I listed that as a favorite. And then I kept going. Go back to the anomaly, get a random base to go to. I can even try some of the community ones. Then after I get to on the planet, I go up to the space station. Eventually I found a technology merchant. That's where you pick up. Guess what? I listed that. That's where you pick up the key upgrade for your hyperwarp drive. The S upgrade for your hyperwarp drive, which increases your range but decreases your fuel usage. From 20% of your fuel down to 10% for your hyperwarp drive. So I did that. But one of the more long ones, I forget what I was looking for, but I'm doing my thing, going to different planets, trying to find stuff. I ran across Mitaka 2 station. And the star system is there. Now this place is special. Let me warp there and show you why. Get to Mitaka 2 here. And I take notice of what will happen is, like, when there's the Nexus, when there's a weekend event, many players, 40 and 50, will go to a particular planet to do guided planets mission. Not always, but often what happens is a lot of these players will set up base on a particular planet. Such as, take a look here, discoveries. You will notice under, well, this one it was 159 players. I don't even want to try to set up a base. There's going to be too crowded. There's going to be restrictions on what I can and can't do. But so there's 159 bases. But I didn't necessarily take the opportunity. Look at this. You go to other bases and list 9 of them. Let me take you to my favorite one. This game I can't forget. Anomaly Mission Outpost. I come here. Here's their homage to the Black Album. Very dark building. Lit by the sun lighting outside by connection. Or they're Billy Squier fans. They're fans of that song In the Dark. That's what you say. So either way. That's building 1. building 2, and I use this to run some of my activities. Up here, I would get their nib lift, sell it, get the Gravitino balls and sell it. Well, first, I put the Gravitino balls in my storage frigate, and I put, eventually, I put 10 of these nib funds, which I used to start my own crop in my storage locker, but mostly I sold them. So I'd get them, come around, sell them over here. Simple way to smuggle. Nibs illegal across much space, but if the authorities ever catch you, they'll shoot at your ship. But come across here, you saw this trade terminal, and if you were injured from some adventure, I think I used his first aid terminal once. So that's been my favorite. But also, there's somebody that has oxygen lines in the atmosphere. Forget the name of the base. I went there once. And they have big storage tanks. I went there and got all 9,999 oxygen, which I will also put in my storage lot. So, but I'm sure they regenerated. That was probably 7 hours ago game time. And my mission will generate 50 bucks. Nip grows on a 4.5 hour schedule. Gravitino balls in 2 hours. So I imagine production capacity in the game resemble nature capacities for production. So that's what's going on there. Let me go back to back to Kalamazoo. And in the video, I haven't showed that I got my locker yet. I think they call it storage lockers. I just call them lockers. So. Oh, and this is a Class C frigate now. Some people have preferences, but I kind of agree with Hawks Gaming. There's so many advantages to having a frame, you just can't. Alright, so here's my one storage, they're called storage containers. I keep calling them lockers. Can fit up to 50 goods. I got 40 slots filled. There's my oxygen, my extra oxygen supply. Yes, I still carry some of these. Still get some on adventures. And there's some system I was in. My fabricator was producing carbon for me. But of course, you can also convert dense carbon to carbon. So I'm not really sure. So that's what's going on. That's everything. Here's some extra plans for my farming. And here's why you want to get a frigate, get a freighter, and get a frigate fleet that comes with it. Just sending out one frigate, I have been routinely getting things that I couldn't find. Here we are, salvage class from Sentinel battles. But stuff that the frigate, the frigate's been, whatever the name is. Oh, take you to one of them. Then I'll take the back one off. So you brought the S-class ship out, right? What happened to your original ship? There's too many players out there, not just 2 or 3, but it just didn't affect them. I sold my first ship, and you can't buy another first ship. Like the player that has their starter ship doesn't have much money, they don't want to sell it, they can't buy it. So, I have that, a soul ship in Archive. Wasn't very original with the naming, named it Raining Coffee. I named my Corvette Blazing Coffee. Why coffee? I was going to the coffee shop in my neighborhood, maybe a little more than usual, making more coffee jokes than usual all the time. So, that's why coffee. But that's another reason why I put off. I didn't want to have to summon different ships to the space station I was at and go through a menu, do I want my extras? Well, my Corvette are my main ship, fine, but do I want that or a third ship? Oh, I do plan on one other ship type I want in the game. Yes, I know the quality of things is what? C is the lowest, there's B, and there's A, and there's X. That's why if you're playing No Man's Sky, there's the saying have a nice plan state. Well, anyway. There is also such a thing as a solar ship that comes with panels to where the pulse engine fuels by, at least somewhat, by solar power. So you spend less time. Well, you're not filling it up with pirate anymore. You don't have to buy that or make it. So that is where one of my goals is. Going back to my mind. Show you what I routinely been getting from the damaged frigate. I've been getting this lemium, which is a combined metal alloy. Been getting the Grantine. Been getting all the activated metals I have. Emerald. Activated emerald. What's the other ones? Activated cadmium. Activated indium. And living pearl, which you saw again. You can get those yourself. You can dive into water. If there's a plan, you can get the living pearl from them. It's not, those can injure you. You don't know what you're doing, but once you know what you're doing, that's fairly easy. What else? Oh, yeah, here's the other one I got. Geodesite, another metal alloy, and Hurons. So, yes, it is worth it to get a frigate. Have crew. Because the crew will go out to park space and get stuff you haven't been able to get for yourself yet. And that's this video. And that's everything you can do. Well, your crew is NPCs. That's everything you can do. My S-Class ship I got from an NPC. That's everything I've been able to do so far. And this is what makes this game unique. It's not just an exploration game. It's not a little shoot-em-up game occasionally where it's player versus player. It's a who can I cooperate with game. Oh, I've also picked up some glyphs. Well, one glyph, you can pick up 17 before you can use another transportation device. Some groups of players, they usually like the Euclid Galaxy that I spend most of my time in. Some groups of players, like they like to go ahead and use a certain part of the galaxy instead of work and doing their activities there. They join one of those groups when I get all the things. It'll be easy to find their headquarters. But that's a long time away from me. So all this is good stuff you can do in the first 40 hours. What's that going to be? 2-3 weeks of play. Anyway, so it's been a fun time. I've been having this latest playthrough and just thought I'd share it with y'all. And all this cooperation, you know, it's like if you do Halloween, well, you're going to have friends and make Halloween costumes, go buy them, try on hats or props, try each other's props out. Thanksgiving's all about being with your loved ones, and so is Christmas. So, it just goes with those 3 holidays. But if you're looking besides real-life cooperation network with your family, loved ones, whatever, play a little No Man's Sky and get into the multiplayer parts. You'll never know who you'll be cooperating with and good stuff you can get into. So enjoy all this and enjoy my take on... Oh, by the way, in real life, up at the Space Shuttle, International Space Station, NASA and probably European Space Agency and others, they've gone up in space planting crops in low gravity and done experiments in space on planets to make them grow better. So yes, you not only get to be an astronaut farmer, but you get to do it in space. But as you can see, hint, they may modify the cattle here. The milking thing machine and the feeding machine. Maybe eventually you'll be able to have the cattle up here on the frigate. But even if they never do, for the time being, which would be different in real life, well, we've had cattle in space. Animals, yes, dogs, chimps, whatever. Cats, maybe, but that's sort of. Anyway, so yes, plants in space. Oh, here's one way to get all your carbon. Don't you set up your garden every time you go through? Guess what you can do? Right here on this blue dot. Gather material, carbon. So, anyway, there's the plant in space, carbon, plants in space, cattle on my planet that I've been doing. My astronaut farmer Groove. Hope you've enjoyed this and you'll find your own cooperative adventures in No Man's Sky. And think about parties you've been to. And people bring different foods and stuff. And games you might play together. Bowling, darts, etc. Go swimming. There's a lot of cooperative games in life. So, I'm going to find a menu screen in this game, and then I should be able to come up here and stop the video. Anyway, enjoy this. Halloween's in a few days, so happy Halloween. Happy, better yet, Halloween, where we laugh at mortality, and All Saints and All Souls Day, where you might think about your aspirations for an afterlife, if you believe in the divinity of an afterlife. Anyway, take care. Catch you later. Enjoy. Bye.